G'day YouTube, internet citizens, and a very special g'day to Ivy and Lucy, my two daughters. How is everyone today? Good? Excellent. Ipswich Gamer here once again. Going to be doing probably a bit of a shorter world tour than you're probably used to, but that's alright, isn't it? Playing on the Feed the Beast server, the family server. And yeah, as you can see, got a few little resources popping in here. There goes some more. Bloop, bloop. Yeah, so this has been running good, except for keeping up with the ore processing. I've made a few upgrades which I'm going to show you just a second. What I might do, I'll leave that run for a little while. Hopefully we should be alright. Let me just check the ender chest. Come on. The miner should be running. Yeah, just wait, give it a second. There it goes. Yep, so we're running, we're operating, and we're mining. Okay, so first thing you might have noticed is the wall of shame's gone. Yeah, that's right. The wall of shame is definitely gone, and it's been replaced by these things. These are a bunch of deep storage units. These are awesome, these things. They can hold up to 1 billion items, and at the moment, the most I have in one of them is in this one, I do believe. We have nearly 8 million cobblestone. That's a lot of cobblestone. Yeah. 7,000 dirt, yeah, big deal, I know. Yeah, but I've converted all of my barrels into the deep storage units now, and they each have a storage bus on the back of them. Good thing about deep storage units is, they are much more compatible with the ME system. And so these storage buses, get out of the way, glimmer of light. Yeah, so these storage buses are much more compatible, and you can see I only need one of them. I don't need two of them like I did with the barrels. And another beautiful thing is it actually shows how many's in there. 7 million cobble, 406,000 pieces of charcoal, 109,000 elementum. Oh, 18,000 apples. Wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, okay, still got 1,004, that's good, yeah. Anyway, yes, I've been farming a lot of sticky resin as well. I've activated that farm again. Let's see, I'll just show you what I've actually done here. So what I have here is a ME level emitter, and what that does is it checks the level of fertilizer in the system, and if it's below 64, it'll emit a redstone signal. When it's above 64, it'll emit a redstone signal. That's pointed at this precision export bus, which says if there's no redstone, put apatite in. And this one here is just set to sand, and it'll send sand into here. This is an auto workbench. Auto workbench is set to produce fertilizer. As you can see, it's only got one apatite in there, so I won't actually build it until it gets more apatite, which will only occur when the amount of fertilizer goes below 64. Yeah! And of course, I can't quite get in there. Yeah, there it is. There's my basic import bus, which sucks the fertilizer back into the system. I've also done it over here. So potatoes goes in, and if the number of cooked potatoes is less than 64, or is above 64, then emit a redstone signal. So it's basically the same thing. If I take potatoes out of the system, cook some more for me. Lovely. And of course I've done it over here as well on this extractor here, which is set to import sticky resin, and I've got it set to 1024 rubber. If there's more than that, emit a redstone signal, and if not, chuck some more sticky resin into the extractor. So yeah, I'm going to do a lot more of this, lot more with these redstone level emitters, because you can do a lot of stuff with them. And yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff. Okay. Now, the other thing you might have noticed down here are these three. I'm not sure if I mentioned these before. These three auto workbenches here. They've been here for a little while. What they do, if I have a look inside here, gas essence. And that creates gas tears. And we have glowstone essence creating glowstone dust. And we have coal essence creating coal. So what I've done is I've set up over here, been a while since we've been out here, yep, over here, we have magic crops. So we have coal crops, essence crops, gas soul crops, and glowstone crops. So yeah, I'm creating lovely, awesome crops. Yeah. Alright, so that's the deep storage units. We've got the level emitters. I've showed you the magic crops now. There's this thing here which I haven't updated in quite a while. This is a height map projector. Makes a really cool looking height map. Of course there's the workshop there, but it hasn't been updated in a while because now the workshop has been pretty seriously expanded. Yeah, so that needs to be updated. Now, let's have a look in here. Oh, this is another place I've used the redstone level emitter. In here. So right here, because I've got the deep storage units now that are sucking seeds in, I can now have this export bus throwing seeds into the squeezer and have it set that if it's over 4096 you get a redstone signal, and of course if there's a redstone signal, start exporting seeds in there. And of course there's no seeds in there, but we now have 70,000 seed oil. Good, and we're going to be using this really soon. Now I've got stacks and stacks of ethanol. I'm full of ethanol, and of course fuel, and that is still full. This is still going, and of course my reactors are, I've built that around there. Let's go up here and have a look how our ore processing is going, because it should now be able to keep up, at least partially. As you can see, it's keeping up. I've got 7 overclockers in here, and that now sucks in nearly half 1,000, nearly 500 EU a tick. This one here is sucking in 315 EU a tick. Getting full of iron, but that's alright. You don't mind. And I've changed these induction furnaces out for electric furnaces because you can upgrade them. You can overclock them. Yeah, so this is now keeping up. How in the world is this keeping up? Because last time you saw it, it was choking and carrying on, and yeah, and now it's a powerhouse. Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go in this room here and see. Oh my goodness, what is this thing? This is a turbine from big reactors. So this turbine here produces an awful lot of redstone flux per tick. What we have here is a block of 24 endurium blocks that actually generate the power. Here we have 52 turbine blades on a turbine shaft, and it's all powered by 2 fully maxed out high pressure boilers. They are fed fuel from the Tesseract, which is connected up to the fuel line that you saw down there, and we have a transfer node which is pumping water into them. That transfer node has 8 mining upgrades and 8 speed upgrades, just to make sure that it keeps the water up there. And as you can see, it's handling it quite nicely. So the steam is produced and it's fed in via these fluid ducts, which feed into the turbine fluid ports, which are the imports. That gets turned into mechanical energy, which gets turned into redstone flux, and the output just goes into a fluid void because I don't need it anymore. You know, I'm not recycling it or anything. So yeah. Now the output, if I can come up here, what I'm doing is I'm sharing the output between redstone conduit and industrial craft MFEs. The way I'm doing that is, if I can get up there without, I'm not going to be able to get up there, okay. Let's do it this way, do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so what I'm using is this RedNet energy cable from MindCrafters Reloaded, and what that does is it will convert energy from pretty much any system into any other system. It doesn't mind what energy system you use, it'll convert from one to the other. So what I'm doing is I've got a whole bunch of turbine power ports. Now each of these RedNet cables, I'll tell you about that a bit later. But essentially what we have here is 18 of these turbine power ports. 18 or 20? No, there's 18. There's 18 of them. And each one has its own RedNet energy cable. Now the top 7 are connected to redstone energy conduit, while the rest of them, and in fact also the top 7, are connected to MFEs. And if you check carefully, you can see the MFEs, the stored energy is just dipping down and then building back up. There it goes. Yeah, so that's it getting used by the processing plant. So yeah, so we have it feeding into the peer-to-peer tunnel. Peer-to-peer tunnel goes out and it collects it from there, and if I go around here, collects it from over there as well. So that gets fed into the massive ore storage plant. Right, so how much does this baby actually give out? Well, let's go to the turbine controller here and find out. So it's spinning at nearly 1800 RPM, which is in the top limit. So 18 RPM is the best performance. And it is spewing out 18,914 RF per tick. Okay, so you see we've got 52 blades out of 51. So I don't even really need 51, but I've got another extra one in there just in case, you know. And the max flow is 1299 millibuckets per tick. So, each one of these little blocks here can produce, I think, 20 millibuckets per tick. So we've got 9 by 4 is 36. Is that right? 9 fours are 36, yeah, times 2, because it's 20 millibuckets each. So that's 720 millibuckets per tick on this one. 720 millibuckets per tick on this one, which is just enough to produce that much. So, I'm going to put a link to the spreadsheet in the comment section that will tell you how to set these things up, and if you've got that many Enderium, then how many millibuckets per tick do you need, and how many turbines do you need, and whatnot. So I'll link that in the description, and you guys can check that out for yourself. But for this particular setup, you need nearly 1300 millibuckets per tick. Not quite. And this just happens to produce 1440 millibuckets per tick. So that's just enough to supply this. Okay, so to actually build one of these, you need the turbine housing. This is all made with cyanite and plutonium, which is the byproducts of the reactors, the big reactors, the yellerium or whatever it is. Okay, so you need turbine housing around the edges, you need turbine glass, and you also need a turbine bearing and turbine controller, and you also need your fluid ports, and you need all your power taps as well. Oh, that's another thing I'm supposed to mention. Each one of these RedNet cables, RedNet power cables, will only be able to transmit 1000 RF per tick. So I've got 18 of them, which means 18,000 RF per tick. Now, when you go from RF per tick to industrial craft via the RedNet power cable, you divide by 4. So each one of these MFEs is getting 450 EU per tick, and they can actually output 512. So, yeah, they are a little bit underutilised, but that's okay, because, I mean, come on. It's worth it for being able to process all these ores, and as you can see, it's keeping up nicely. Alright, now there was one thing that still concerned me, which is why I put all those redstone energy conduits, and that is that this couldn't keep up. But this seems to be keeping up now for some reason. Maybe because I put all those redstone energy conduits on there, maybe. But anyway, yeah, this is all looking really nice now. So, now that I've got all of these resources coming in, I do have enough cyanite to produce another one of these reactors, another one of these turbines. I've got plenty of steel, so I can produce as many high pressure boiler tanks as I want. Got plenty of oil, so they can all be fuel fired. So I'm going to produce another one of those turbines out here. Another couple of steam turbines to fuel it. And I'm just going to hook that directly up to redstone. And that's going to power everything redstone. Now the other things I'm going to do is I have started to automate all my various farms around here with the ME storage, or the ME system. So I'm going to continue on doing that. That's going to get rid of all of these pipes that are leading off everywhere, and that's going to replace it with basically ME cable. Yeah, and that includes redstone energy conduit. We're going to get rid of all of that as well. So it's just going to be ME cable. Fluid ducts, going to get rid of them because that's just going to be ME cable. And yeah, that's another little project that's in mind. And also in the future, what we are going to be doing is I am going to be looking at playing around, or starting to play around with rotary craft. Rotary craft is an extremely powerful mod, and yeah, once we get into that, then this series can really start kicking off big time. I mean, seriously, big time. I mean, this series is still only really just started. What are we, episode 9 or something? So, yeah. Hang around for that. Hang around for the rotary craft, because, yeah, it's going to be big. I'm going to grindstone. Oh, I'm grinding up ender stones. Or ender pearls. That's right. See if I can see it. 57 of those. I had paired singularities somewhere. Where did I stick them? Must be in this chest. There they are. So I got some quantum entangled singularities here. So I've got four pairs, and I'm going to be using those eventually. So yeah, be careful. Watch out for that too. I've got a firestone. In fact, if I wanted to, 26 firestone ores. So we can have 26 firestones, as many firestones as we like. So yeah, that's another good thing. As you can see, lots of rubber. So I've been purifying that. Still got plenty of night ore. Yeah, so pretty much going to be automating stuff and looking at starting on rotary craft. And I'm going to let you guys see how I do on that in the next episode. Alright guys, until then, I shall see you later. Thanks for watching everyone. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye! Bye everyone. Bye Ivy. Bye Lucy. Bye!